found a nice script typeface that will work really well, just highlighting Max. Change that to one called Artifact, and I can make this a little bit bigger, but then it starts to kind of have issues. So I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to have to change the spacing or the leading between just these two lines of type. So it might be better to isolate this, or in this case, I'm just going to go to Edit, Cut, or I can do a little shortcut and do Command X Cut, whatever works for you. And I'm going to just do a Command V or go up to Edit, Paste, whatever you feel comfortable with. All I'm doing is just pasting that back in. And I'm going to get our Type tool. I'm going to go ahead and click here and then paste. Just do a Command V. I'm going to be able to paste that same type in there. I'm going to make it bigger. So I'm just separating it on two lines just so I can have more control, maybe even overlap the type a little bit. I just feel like I have more control over it. Instead of keeping it all one big text box, I have this as a text box and this as a text box, and I can just click and move these around. So let's say I want to add a nice drop shadow to this Max. I'm just trying to find a way to kind of tuck these letters in nicely like a puzzle piece. And I'm going to double click to do our layer styles. We're going to double click in this blank area of Max. Bring out our layer styles panel and just add a little bit of a drop size. It's going to be a very sharp shadow. You can actually bring a bigger distance here, make it more dramatic, and do it very soft. So I'm just doing a 15, maybe even a 12% opacity, so it's not very strong. If you're to do strong drop shadows, it does kind of cheapen the effect and make it look a little dated. So whenever I use drop shadows, unless I really need a shadow to show up, I try to use nice, subtle drop shadows. So let's say we want to add a little bit of an angle to all this. I'm going to select our Max, going to hold down Shift, select our other type, just continuing to hold down Shift, and I'm going to select our little circle. So we have these three layers selected. They're kind of all one unit now. All I'm going to do is going to go up to our transform controls and just move out to the corner a little bit further until I see this little rotate transform option, and I'm just going to kind of rotate all of this a little bit to kind of make it angled, and just going to go ahead and position it. And we could also make it smaller, whatever you want to do, just kind of showing you lots of different options you have here in Photoshop. So we can make this Max come out of the circle so it feels more layered. So you kind of have your M, the points of the M coming out, kind of gives it a nice layered look like it's breaking the mold. And we can even have an opportunity to add a button here or some other type of kind of text box there if we wanted to. But let's go ahead and leave this project as is. There's so much more to study, but we've gotten to study layers. We've gotten to look at the character and type tools. We've got to create a circle. We've got to learn how to bring in a photo. We're just getting comfortable with the very, very basics of Photoshop. We're going to create some really awesome projects in the next couple sections of this class. But this was really a basic introduction. We got our dashboard set up. We're ready to do some much more complicated stuff, especially with photo editing. I know you guys are looking forward to really doing some awesome photo editing, and we're going to be that is the magic of Photoshop right there, is the photo editing abilities. And as a graphic designer, I use Photoshop mostly for editing photos. And for layout, I usually save that for Adobe InDesign, but with social media and digital graphics, I do like to do some layout design in Photoshop. So we're going to be doing some digital graphics. We have a YouTube thumbnail we're going to do as well, and I look forward to doing those more intermediate projects here soon.